Right. Well, I originally come from Argentina, so I think what I've got to give my students and the people I work with is the insider perspective, what it is like to be a learner as well as a teacher. I started teaching 30 years ago, long time ago. I was very young then. And, first I started, I became a teacher of, I trained to be a secondary school teacher of English as a foreign language in the state sector. Then I moved on to teaching all sorts, from primary, secondary. Then I became a teacher trainer, and I trained teachers both in the UK when I moved here in 2000 and abroad in many different countries. And now I'm the head of teacher development for Bell, which is the company where I work. Making learning visible is about making it absolutely explicitly clear, not just to the teachers themselves in their own minds, but particularly to students, what they're going to be getting out of a lesson, what for, what's in it for them, and how it's going to happen. So it's about absolute clarity and direction from the very beginning of the lesson, even what success looks like. How will students know that they will have succeeded? So it involves a number of strategies and techniques to make learning much more tangible and concrete to students. It's about educating teachers, really, but it's actually quite simple. It's looking at strategies that for which there is absolute evidence that they work and they make a significant impact on learning outcomes. So seeing what they're like and teaching teachers about them and giving those teachers the space to try them out, not just once, but in a deliberate and repeated way until they embed into their practice. For me, ELT is a very interesting field in that sometimes we seem to be quite alternative in the sense that we look out to strategies and techniques that are interesting and creative and fun, but then they do not have necessarily a very robust or sound evidence base that they actually work, that they actually make a difference to the students' learning outcomes and their achievement. So for me, it was looking outside of the field of ELT at evidence in, this is a great time to be in education because we've got big data. So we've got, meta-analysis of educational research. So looking at what those data are saying about what really makes a difference to learners and their learning, and I'm fascinated by that. And since English as a foreign language is as a curricular subject, there's no reason why it shouldn't work in English as a foreign language. So that's why I'm interested in it, because I think it's got a lot to give learners and teachers. Well, teachers, I was talking to teachers because we started implementing these techniques about 2 years ago. We kind of build them up slowly. And talking to teachers, they say that make their teaching easier. Because once you are clear about what you need to achieve, because it makes a difference to students, it makes your planning easier. And it makes learning easier and clearer to students. So, for example, one technique that we use is success criteria. So showing the students and sharing with students what success looks like. And it really does. When you observe, for example, teachers and learners working in classes, you see how, for example, learners are giving feedback to other learners that's much more objective, useful, helpful than just, that was okay, thank you. So you see it in action when you see it in classrooms, but also teachers are beginning to notice that it makes their lives easier, which is quite interesting. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is why we actually started looking at them in the first place. That there are a lot of different studies. So we're talking about meta-analysis of synthesis of 50,000 different studies that do say that a different aspect. So, for example, an aspect of success is the use of success criteria. Another one would be sharing learning intentions with the learners. The other one would be effective questioning or feedback. They're all impactful interventions. In other words, there's clear evidence that the students improve their learning outcomes. absolutely not extra planning. Learning to plan in a deeper way. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have more admin work. What it means is that once you get into the habit of planning clear learning intentions, it doesn't take any added time. It's just relearning, if you like, to plan more clearly and to use the techniques that we are teaching the teachers to use. Well, I'm going to be talking about very briefly an introduction to why making learning visible pays off. And then I'm going to move very quickly into practical techniques and strategies. So as I was saying, for example, sharing learning intentions, what learning intentions are really clear to learners, working with success criteria, giving you clear examples, broadening the range of feedback techniques and looking at questioning that's really effective. We can always learn more about teaching, and teacher development is about ever becoming the best teacher that you can be, and these are opportunities for teachers to just do that.